trying to get you the information that you can today, and then we can certainly follow up afterwards. But I did want to show you this slide. This is really around Microsoft's vision. There's a couple slides around Microsoft's visions, what they're working on today and moving forward. You know, the whole platform of taking your data and working on the relationships, the interactions, the process, that kind of thing, building that framework, and then being able to deploy it in the cloud or on-premise. That's one thing that many of our competitors do not offer. You get it one way, and you get it their way, period. Dynamics CRM is really focused around delivering you what you need in the bytes and the chunks that you need. So when you look at the workflows or the workload side of things, you've got sales, marketing, service, and extended CRM. Extended CRM is really, I think, the crux of what companies need to leverage, even if it's just a little bit, but need to leverage for their own processes. And then, of course, CRM anywhere, anytime, tablets, desktops, your smartphones, all of the different devices that are out there. There we go. Sorry. So CRM Anywhere is the theme that Microsoft has been pushing for a while now, and they're really starting to recognize that vision and be able to deliver it for us. With Polaris, we get cross-browser support. It's not only an Internet Explorer product now. Thankfully, we've been pushing for that for quite some time. The Safari browser, Chrome, Firefox, multiple different kinds of devices. So you get that full sales, service, marketing, and your extended pieces across all of your devices, all of your browsers, anywhere you happen to be. So this is a little bit of a look at Orion, and we're going to actually get into the application here pretty soon, and we're going to look at these specifically. But I wanted to call out a couple of the key changes in the interface, because these key changes are going to be prevalent not just in Polaris in the release that we have today. If you are online, these are the forms that are available to you. They are not enabled by default. We can talk about that later. But it is available to you if you're online. You have to go and enable them. But there are a couple of gotchas, so don't just run out and enable them without understanding what those gotchas are, and we can certainly help you with that if you need to. We'll talk a little bit about it later on. A couple of key pieces on this new Flow user experience. It's very process-driven. You can see here this is an opportunity screen. You can see that the workflow, the process workflow, is listed across the top where you would have expected the ribbon bar to be. You've got some across the very top, easy access to important data area. This is a header, if you will, that can be configured to provide your users with the most relevant information about that record type. So no matter where they're scrolling throughout, they'll have that information in front of them. You also have in this section the enhancement of what we used to call activity feeds. If you've been with the product for a while, activity feeds came about a year or so ago, and they were purely internal. Activity feeds are still available and are still prevalent in the system. However, we now have social collaboration through Yammer. Microsoft purchased Yammer a little bit ago and is now integrating it into their products. Yammer gives you that same activity feed look and feel, but with a little bit more social aspect to it. You can also be providing external access, of course, to your Yammer feed if you're familiar with Yammer. To implement it, it does take an enterprise Yammer account, and obviously there's a lot there that we can't truly touch on today in depth, but I think the approximate price is like $3 per user per month for an enterprise Yammer feed. But that gives you the ability to take your Yammer your Yammer feeds and bring in external, get them on your phone so that if you've got people in the field and something occurs with the record, an auto post can be made to the Yammer stream, and that will show up on users that happen to be following this record. Let's talk about the configurable business processes real quick. We can look at this later within the application if we need to. But you can see here that across the top, this is the new process control customization tool for Dynamics CRM. This process is a sales process, moving from the lead record to the opportunity record, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But it really ties together. Some of the key things that users consistently asked for was the ability to tie what's going on at the lead level when you're dealing with a sales process, and being able to link that clearly through with a consistent process from lead to opportunity without having to build multiple different processes within CRM. Very easily configurable, very easily customizable at the administrative level. I also want to touch base on the new CRM browser client that's coming out, for iPad. And you know, it's funny that Microsoft is finally speaking to the iPad. For years and years, they've not necessarily ignored it, but it is something that has been prevalent in business, and people are starting to deploy that, of course, across the enterprise. But being able to have CRM not just access through the web browser, so through the Safari browser, but actually provide a true client. And in this case, they're starting out with the sales client. They're kind of breaking it into different pieces and parts. The key piece of people in the field using CRM are typically the sales folks. So the optimized iPad client is really going to focus on harnessing that full power of dynamic CRM. Process-driven, again, it's very flat, inline type experience, and you'll see that continue through the future releases. So as touch enablement becomes more and more important, they're starting to flatten out the interface as much as they can, giving you the ability not to have to worry about the small little areas where you can mouse click very easily, but being able to touch, especially my little fat fingers, touching a screen and being able to move on and get the data that you need very easily, very quickly. I've just got a couple of quick screenshots here to show you on the iPad. This is the new experience. We're touching through the web browser and looking at the true web-enabled CRM client for iPad. You'll notice that it's just really focused on the sales side of things, bringing in some dashboards. You'll see you've got your social feed there under What's New. That's the Yammer feed. And on the left-hand navigation, you just see a couple of key items that are relative to sales. Counts, contacts, leads, opportunities, some dashboards that are going to provide you with a little bit more information. Touch enablement, allowing you to click, for instance, on opportunities, move to the opportunity section. Very familiar looking. You'll see that it's again, very flat. So when you move over, you can open up just as you can today and provide inline charts for your views. Opening up specific opportunities give you that new user interface, again, that allows for a cleaner, flatter look. You've got the flow UI, so you've got the process listed up across the top, and your header information with that key relative information. So very quickly, just to follow up on this, this is what, as Microsoft continues to roll out the next couple of versions, for instance, Gemini is mostly marketing. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But Orion, which is the next major release, you're going to see more and more of that flat interface. You're going to see more and more of the process-driven UI, where you've got in this case, it's the sales process, the qualify, develop, propose process all the way through. You're going to see that being enabled in more and more entities. All of the entity forms are going to start looking this way, and you're going to have some new navigation, which we'll touch on here in a minute as well. So let's, before we get into this, before we get into Gemini and Orion, let's click over to Polaris, and we'll look at Polaris as it exists today. We're connected here through the web to our demo environment. This is obviously CRM Online. This is integrated with our Office 365. The integration that Microsoft provides, if you haven't had an opportunity to work with it, to look at all the different pieces and parts, I highly recommend that you at least sign up for a 30-day free trial of both of them together. The interface and the methodology used for signups now allows you to sign up for both at the same time, providing you with a true integration between CRM and the Office 365 apps, through SharePoint for data, for document management, all of those pieces and parts working together is a very, very powerful story. So let's look real quickly at a couple of the dashboards. So the sales activity social dashboard is one of the first ones that you're going to see is really starting to change up what you're doing. I'm logged in as one of our personas for this demo. Gentleman name is Walter Harp, and here's a picture of good old Walter. Certainly not me, but that's our demo guy. In this case, he's a sales manager, so he doesn't happen to have any information, so the pipeline chart isn't there for him. But you can see here across what's new. This is giving you the Yammer feeds. In this case, this is still activity feeds. Same kind of information. We don't have this connected to Yammer, but Yammer is available. You have typical navigation still. On the left-hand side, you've got your workplace, sales, service, marketing. When we look at sales, you can see that it's still the same that you're used to. If we can change our views, active accounts. With the feeds, you'll notice, with the social aspect of it, you'll notice a few new types of views that are built for you out of the box. Accounts I follow, accounts being followed. You have the same social functionality that you get in, for instance, Twitter, where you have your own Twitter account, but you follow certain other Twitter users, and that gives you the ability to see their posts, to see what they're doing. Same thing with CRM now with the activity feeds and carrying through to the Yammer integration is that you can now follow specific accounts. If you're a sales rep and you brought in a new account and you want to really kind of get an idea without having to drill into each one of the accounts that you follow or that you brought in, you can now follow the accounts. For instance, we're going to bring up one of our accounts here, Alpine Ski House. And you're going to find that you can now go ahead and start following all of these different accounts that you've brought in. You can look at the posts. You can like them. You can reply to them. If you wanted to see if you wanted to provide your own commentary on what's been going on with each one of these, you can see that you've got auto posts that are happening through workflows, through other pieces and parts. And again, this gives you that social so that if you can go in and you follow a specific account, very easy, very simple. You follow it across the top. And now in your feed, if you go to your What's New social feed in CRM, you're going to find that any activities that are put against this account start showing up in your feed. So for instance, here's the account was created. They have an opportunity that's created. These start showing up for you, so you don't have to start drilling in as a salesperson to find out what's going on. You can very quickly, very easily get a good idea of what's going on. For instance, if you're going to walk in and you're going to talk to Alpine Ski House, you're going to visit them or you're going to call them, you want to get up to date with what's happening. Do they have any service cases pending? Do they have any opportunities out there? Have they inquired or sent any emails to one of the other support users that perhaps you want to take a look at? So you truly have a very clear picture before you talk with them or before you go in and visit them what's going on. So real quickly, let's go and take a look at the lead process. We talked a little bit about the user, the new flow user experience, and we're going to demonstrate that here today. So we're going to start with a lead, and we're going to start with good old Adam Carter here. The lead record, the new user interface for the CRM Online users is available in a couple of the records. So you've got it at the lead, the account, the contact level, and the opportunity level, and the case level. So the key items that you're working with, you have that available to you if you enable it and turn it on. There are a couple of key things that you have to be careful of and that you need to be aware of before you do it. If you've got a highly customized, for instance, account form or a lead form or something like that, and you enable the new forms, your form customizations will not be on the new forms. You'll have to go in and add them in. So for instance, if you've got at the lead level, you've got a whole question and answer scenario that you've built, it's not going to be by default in the new form. You're going to have to go ahead and add it to the new form. Configuring the new forms is just as easy as configuring the old forms. Your data does not go away. Your data will still be present, of course, in the database. You just have to add those fields to the forms. A couple of other changes, other than the obvious ones we see here on the screen, is your navigation. So on the left-hand side, you can go ahead and click on that and open it up, and then you start getting all of your related records. Now this is sort of, just to be clear, this is really an interim step for Microsoft. You'll see here when we start looking at the Orion screens what they're going to look like. But this is the ability to just sort of transition you from the forms that you're used to using today to the new forms. So we can add, for instance, activities. We can see the activity list here. We can see connections. We can see other things. And we can, just as we could with the old forms, we can add additional related records to the left navigation. So when you go in and you configure the form, just as you could before, add and remove things from the navigation pane on the left side of the form, you can still do that with Dynamic CRM with the new forms. So it's not going to be a problem. If you've got some key entities that you've built, some relationships between those data types, you can add those in and you can be able to interact with them just as you could with the old forms. So let's go back to the lead record. Across the top, very simple, very easy. The ribbon bar is going away. You see that, again, transitionary. You see that in these new forms in Polaris. And I'll show you when we get to the Orion screens what's taking the place of those. But in this case, you've got the ability to add a new lead record, follow the lead, qualify, disqualify. And these little three ellipses here, you can expand that and see a few other things. So you can share this record with somebody else. If your permissions allow you to, you could delete it. You can email a link. Because I'm an administrator, I can edit the form. I can also switch back to the classic form. This is, again, transitionary. I believe this is still going to be available in Orion, but at some point beyond Orion, the classic forms are going to go away. It may be a part of Orion, but that's still to be determined by Microsoft, and we'll see what they end up announcing. We also have the ability to edit that sales process, and I'm just going to pull this up real quick to give you that same look that we saw in the screen. The process control customization tool, you can see that we're at the sales process level. This is also available in Polaris at the case management level. So when you open up a service case, you have the same UI. You can build a process that says, here's how you solve a case, and you can build your stages. Very simple, very easy. At the lead level, we have one stage. We have qualify. We can move on, and by clicking on the opportunity link here, we can see the opportunity process by which we can go in and make changes. You'll see as I move and I hover, I could go ahead and propose solution today. I can make changes to it. I can adjust which fields that it's actually going to access. I can add additional steps or stages in the process at any point in time. All right? So let's just move off of that. It's publishing it as we go, so you don't have to now go over and republish all of your changes. They're making those changes a little bit more prevalent in the system and a little bit easier for you to manage. So back to our lead. We have Adam Carter here. The new lead has come in. And so what we've got in the UI is the ability to now really truly look at this lead from a pure operational level. First thing you want to find out is this lead has come in through whatever the various sources are, whether it was imported through a list, whether it was through an inside sales team that took a phone call or actually approached him through your website. However your leads are coming in today, the first thing obviously you want to do is find out, is this gentleman already a contact? So we can go ahead and just type in his name here and find through the link that he already does exist as a contact within the system. So now we have the ability to start linking appropriately leads that are coming into the system for either companies or contacts that already exist. We could do that before in CRM, but just not as efficiently and cleanly as we can now. Same thing with the account. His account name is Northwind Traders. I can tab off of that. We can find out that, let's see how many of them are. There's quite a few of these in here. Again, this is demo data. But what it's doing is it's trying to walk us through the qualifying process. We've identified these as our steps that we want to look at to qualify this lead. Very clean, very easy to manage, and as we enter the information here, it's going to flow through the rest of the form, flow through all the different pieces and parts that are here so that we can truly manage the data in an efficient way. I can add a little bit more information, purchase time frame. He's going to want to purchase this quarter. Estimated budget, we're going to say that his budget on this is $100,000. What's his purchase process? Do we know what it is? Maybe we don't know. And then we can certainly identify the decision maker as well. So you'll see a couple of other things that are here, and let me just do the capture summary. This is an add-on sale. So we can now understand what's going on with this lead as it walks through. You'll see that we have the in the post area, and I want to call this out because we'll make some changes to this, and you'll see this as it flows through. We also now have the concept in CRM of stakeholders. Many of our implementations, we were trying to build this in as we went through because you oftentimes have multiple people that you're dealing with the lead and opportunity process. Before, the lead gave you a single contact, a single company, and anything additional you had to build into it. CRM now allows you to identify other stakeholders within their organization or perhaps outside of their organization even that you might want to link in. Very simple, very easy. Plus sign opens up the field, and we can now, I'm just going to add myself in here, Ken Farmer. Even though I'm an outside person, I'm helping them with their decision-making process because I happen to be one of their influencers because I'm a consultant who works with Adam and his team. And you've been able to identify that as a salesperson through your conversations. So now we've identified plenty of information. We're ready to actually qualify it. But before we do, I want to point out that as you saw, I was going through and I was making changes to the data, but at no point did I actually hit save anywhere. In the bottom right-hand corner, if you can see this on your screen, is a little save button. So if I was to go in and make a change to one of these fields, I'm going to say product engineer slash modeler, and I'm going to tab off of it. You'll see that it says unsaved changes. It's eventually going to go away. It's saving the changes in the background for us. If you want to accelerate those, you can just click on it. It's going to go ahead and do it. But if I go ahead and I move off of the form, it's going to go ahead and save the changes before I move off the form. So again, it's the goal that Microsoft is trying to hit here is eliminating the clicks, eliminating the windows that open, and they'll really address that in Orion, and make the user experience faster, more efficient, and allow you to truly increase the level of user adoption as you go through an implementation. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and qualify this. As I qualify that, you'll see a couple of things happening. As in the old process, you would have the options of, do you want to create an account? Do you want to create a contact? What do you want to do? The system now is a little bit more intuitive. We've identified that Adam Carter is already a contact in the system. We identified that Northwind Traders was already an account in the system. So it went ahead and just linked it back to those people, did not create a new record for either one, and now we're in the opportunity record. So you don't have a bunch, as before, you don't have a bunch of records that you need to close in the background or anything else. We just have closed the record for you. We've marked it as qualified. We've moved on now, and you'll see that the stages have gone from qualify into develop. We're now at the opportunity level, as you can see here, and we can start going through our process. We also then added to our activity feeds that the auto post, this opportunity has been created and the lead was qualified. So if as a salesperson or an inside salesperson I was following that lead through my Yammer feed, I would now get this same notification would show up on my Yammer feed. And if I've got it on my smartphone, my tablet, wherever I happen to be looking at Yammer and not being in CRM, I would have that feed, that post in my feed, and I'd be able to see it right away. So one of the things that this is also assisting us through in terms of the social posts, and this is something that we talk to our clients about, is the concept of notifications. People want notifications. And typically the first request we get in implementations is, I want the system to email the entire world whenever these 15 things happen. The easy answer is sure, we can go ahead and do that. We'll build that for you, no big deal. Notification, email notification workflows, some of the easiest ones that we can build. But that's really the wrong answer. As a consultant, as an implementer, the right answer is, okay, let's talk about why you need this. Is it because your people are poorly trained? Is it because your people are just used to email driving their lives? How can we make that a more efficient system? Your IT guys don't want 15,000 emails being generated from CRM and flying all over the place. They just don't. It's tough to manage. It's hard on the underlying infrastructure. There are a lot of reasons that they're going to want to push back a little bit. Yammer and activity feeds truly give you the ability to have those notifications happening in a different way, in a more efficient way, in a way that's a little bit more immediate, that's not going to get lost in the other 350 emails that person has gotten either on their smartphone, which they're going to really try and avoid looking at all 350 of those, or even in their Outlook perhaps that is going to drive their challenges of managing their inbox. So it's a different way of thinking in a lot of cases, and it's something that we as the trusted advisor, as the consultant, really try and work with the client on to get them to understand that there's other ways to do it other than beating people over the head with 300 emails being tossed at them from CRM every day. It's really around, what do you want to do with it, how do you want to consume the data, and what's most efficient for you. Okay, let me get off my soapbox there, sorry. So moving through the process now, we're at the opportunity level. We can see that we can move through a couple of these. We can look at the other stages. I can click on propose. I can see what steps are going to be involved in propose. I can also see what steps are involved in close. So even though I'm not in the stages that we've got here, I may be able to identify that these are done, even though I'm not in that stage. So I've identified in this process the pursuit team that's going to be focused on this. I can go back and I can say we've identified the customer need, we've identified the competitors, we've identified the stakeholders, and as we mark through this, it's really going to allow us to identify where we are and what's going on inside of this opportunity. And of course, everything that happens inside of this opportunity, when we get to the budgetary amount, we get to probability, the forecast, estimated revenue even at the top. We're going to say that the estimated revenue actually is going to end up being not the $100,000 budget, but the more we talk to him, the more we're able to change it, the more we're able to get him to agree to a little bit more. You'll also notice a difference between the header information existing here in Polaris versus the header information existing in the current, the old forms. In the header information in the old forms, you really didn't have the opportunity to adjust it, change it. You had to find where it was on the form and go ahead and do it. Here you can actually make those changes. We're going to have a very short sales cycle, and then we can make those changes directly in the header. All right. Process is fairly straightforward. I think you kind of get that. All of you, or a good portion of you, have CRM already. a dynamic CRM already, so you, I think, understand how those work. But we do have a lot of capability in, again, customizing this form. You see the navigation here on the left-hand side, just as we saw in the other forms. Here we've got some document approval area. We've got documents that are going to be tied directly to SharePoint if you've got it configured. And I'd like to encourage you, if you're currently using Dynamic CRM today and you have not implemented SharePoint and you have not implemented the integration to SharePoint, which is very, very easy and straightforward to set the basic integration up. If you have not done that yet, I strongly encourage you to look at doing it at some point in the future. The ability of adding documents in CRM has been there from the beginning, but those documents exist in the SQL database with nobody having access to those externally from CRM in that methodology. In SharePoint, it's a completely new methodology around storing it in SharePoint, so SharePoint users who may not be CRM users will have options to get to those documents, even to upload to that folder, and then CRM users can truly look at the documentation that is relative to, is relevant to the account, to the contact, to the opportunity, or even as you extend it to things like projects or pieces of equipment that you're building in a manufacturing scenario where you're trying to store some of the CAD drawings or POs or the actual build list for those pieces of equipment. You're trying to store those together. That makes an enormous amount of sense, and it makes it so much easier to have all of your users in your organization identify documents in one place and one place only. All right? Again, sorry, another soapbox. So let's go back to dashboards real quick. A couple of things that I wanted to show you real quick, and then we're going to get back into looking at some things with Gemini and Orion that's coming up. One of the things that we can do, and these are a couple examples of some additional types of Bing map integrations that are done through, in this case, this is a heat map, an opportunity heat map integration with Bing. So you can see where your opportunities are, and based on the size and the amounts, or excuse me, the opportunities being driven in the various places, we can zoom in, say, on North America here, and look at where we see all the different pieces and parts, where we've got the most activity going on. We've got a little bit down here in Arizona. We've got quite a few through the Detroit and Chicago and through that area. We've got quite a bit down the eastern seaboard, so you can really kind of slice and dice, again, your data a little bit differently. We even have some down here in a couple of different offshore companies, Colombia. We can kind of move through here. This is a fairly easy piece of customization that can be added to your processes and to your system. We can look. Let's look at the. I'm going to go back to the sales management dashboard real quickly. So this is a dashboard for sales managers. I just want to show you a couple of the new pieces and parts that we can add to these dashboards. But it gives you a lot of flexibility around even accessing those documents that exist inside of SharePoint. For instance, here's a standard set of stock documents that exist on my SharePoint site. These live in SharePoint now. This is basically an iframe that's pointed to a specific folder or specific site in my SharePoint. We can grab any one of these, and I want to show you a couple of things real quickly around the new Power View that exists inside of Excel. So this is the Excel web app through Office 365. It's going to pull up the information. Let me expand this now. Pull up information and give you a couple of different ways to look at it and share it and refresh your data and do some things. But this is this really comes down to all the capabilities that now exist in Office 2013 that flow into Excel, of course, and the different ways that you can add things and different pieces and parts into Excel. All right. If you haven't seen Power View, if you haven't seen some of those new features, I encourage you to take a look at those. Charts work as you would expect them to, as the charts work in CRM today. You can pop one open. You can look by popping it open like this. You can look at the underlying data on the left-hand side. You see the chart showing up here for you on the right-hand side. And we can drill in just by clicking on good old Terry Adams here. I want to see the stuff that he's got. You'll see the blue is qualify. I just want to see his stuff that's at the qualify level. So by clicking on that, I get the filter piece working, and I can see exactly what's going on with his different opportunities at the qualify stage. And just by clicking off of that, we go back to standard list. All of that continues to function, as well as the ability to add new kinds of charts, and those pieces and parts will continue to move forward into what we're doing with Orion, especially. Again, Gemini is really more of the marketing release, and we're gonna talk about that right now. So lots going on with the Polaris release. What you're seeing is really an indication of where the system is going, and let's talk about that a little bit more. So future enhancements, Gemini, Orion. Here's some of the timelines that we're looking at. Gemini is truly the marketing release, and most everything now, Microsoft has really tried to time their releases in the past on getting everything released at the same time, either on-premise or online, and they've really discovered that that's not working well. So they have an ability to release it online sooner, so that's really what they're going to do. So the Gemini marketing release is CRM online first in Q2 of 2003, which is this quarter. And again, I want to caution you that these are the current Microsoft release dates, and as we all know, release dates can change. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So the Orion version release, including for online, is going to be in Q3, and of course Q3 could mean October. Even it could slip too. So just be aware of that. But what we're going to see today is as much as we can really show you under NDA. But those things are going to happen Q2, Q3 online, and then Q3 Orion, which will include all of the CRM online stuff, include the new forms, include all of that for the on-premise. Now, one of the things to understand is that Orion is being considered a true version release, meaning it's not just a couple of pieces of functionality and an update roll-up anymore like they used to be doing. Orion is going to be not just an entirely new set of functionality, but there's a lot of additional things that will be happening in the background, and we'll talk about that here in a minute as well. And then at the very end, of course, after that it just continues. The Leo is actually the name of the next one, and that's going to be sometime in 2014. So let's talk about Gemini, the marketing release. Microsoft recently acquired two companies and two applications that are going to be the major thrust of this marketing release. The first one is a product called Marketing Pilot. Marketing Pilot is not going to be, at least not in the next release or two, not going to be a fully built-in, baked-into CRM application. It's going to be a secondary application that is integrated to CRM, and the integration already exists that you can get. Marketing Pilot, though, is being fleshed out. Marketing Pilot 15 is their current release name that just came out, release version rather, that just came out a month or two ago. But Marketing Pilot is truly an enterprise-level product. This is for larger enterprise-level organizations that really have a need for some in-depth marketing processes, and you can see the bullet list there on the left-hand side. I'm not going to go through each one, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on Marketing Pilot, but this is an unbelievably robust and depth of functionality type of product. You can see that we're dealing with online and offline. We're dealing with agency management pieces. We're dealing with trying to close the loop with CRM and the integration that's there. But it really gets into all of the collaboration tools, even your digital asset management, which is huge for large organizations that are trying to run their marketing programs. Segmentation is going to be a huge part of it. Behavior analysis around your stuff, as well as landing page builder. So a lot of the questions we get, should we wait for marketing pilot, or should we use some of the existing third-party pieces for our marketing? And our answer typically is use what you need today. And if you've got a need, we recommend Click Dimensions. There are several other ones out there, Marketo and a few others, but we like the Click Dimensions folks. They're responsive. I personally have known them for a lot of years, probably 8, 9 years, and they are really good at focusing directly on dynamic CRM. All of the email marketing, click-throughs, website management, all of that feeds back into that product. I would say continue to use that. Marketing pilot and how it's going to play out over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months kind of is yet to be seen. It is a beast of a product, and I say that in a good way. A lot of functionality there, so that's something that you want to think about. Real quickly, here's a couple of screens, and the first thing you'll notice across the top, if you can see there in the headers, it says Marketing Pilot. It doesn't say Dynamic CRM. This is a standalone product, either online or you'll be able to access it offline as well. But building your campaigns, managing your campaigns, managing the digital collateral around those campaigns, and the tools that you're going to be given to do that are going to be huge. So again, I wouldn't wait for it unless that's the need that you've got. It is available today if you truly need it, but I think that we're going to see in the Gemini release coming here over the next 3 to 6 months that it's going to be a large product, and my understanding from what Microsoft is telling us today, it will be an additional cost, whatever the user license might be for the marketing pilot piece. The next product they purchased is the one I'm actually the most excited about, is NetBreeze. NetBreeze is a true social monitoring product, giving even small businesses the capability of monitoring what's being said, what's the chatter being said out in the marketplace around CRM, around their company, around their product, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. What are people saying about me? And this is going to be a product that is going to kind of be done the opposite way that they're going to do Marketing Pilot. NetBreeze, as they're telling us today, is going to be built inside the product. It's going to be contained inside Dynamic CRM. It's going to be managed and maintained inside Dynamic CRM. And it's going to be offered as part of the base product. There's not going to be an additional fee. Now, again, that could change, or they may take a part of that and say this is, an advanced feature or something like that. But most importantly, it monitors, and the true genius, I think, of the NetBreeze product is you can configure it to look for keywords, to look for your company, to across so many different channels and so many different languages. Inherently baked into the product is the ability to get all of the different languages monitoring at the same time, and to truly get the flavor of what's being said inside those languages. It was some of the demos that we've seen of this product have just been fantastic. And when I say that it's across channels, it's Facebook, it's Twitter, as you would expect, but it also is monitoring today over 6,000 online news feeds, 18 million different blogs, and 500,000 different message boards. So it has the ability to pull all of those pieces and parts in. So this is going to be a kind of a typical NetBreeze screen. You'll see it across the header. It says Microsoft Dynamics CRM, which is what we like to see. And this sort of gives you just a quick look at some of the capabilities that it has around breaking down the posts by the different channels, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, whatever it happens to be. And as you would expect, if you hover over that part of the chart, it's going to display that for you. Same thing with the languages. This is a little bit more relevant. This is one of the companies that actually has been using NetBreeze for quite some time around is Revlon, and they've got it looking for the different products. And you can even drill farther into it and get deeper into every different thing and look exactly at what's being said and who's saying it, and all of that being delivered to you inside of CRM. Then you have the ability to take those same things and put them into a CRM record. So the account here is AdventureWorks, standard Microsoft account. You can see the chart, and you can see the top social media posts there on the right-hand side. And it will give you the capability of whoever's monitoring this to respond through that channel directly from inside of CRM. Okay, so we have those products coming. I'm really excited about the NetBreeze thing. Let's go through Orion real quickly, and then we'll get you on your way. So Orion really is truly the next version of CRM. It's a version or platform release, and it will probably get a new name. Nobody's really saying for sure what that is. The winner in the rumor mill is Dynamics CRM 2014. In addition to the user interface changes we're going to go through here real quick, we're also going to get some key things happening in the background. Exchange server synchronization to try and eliminate some of the cases where we need that great email connector. Mobile sales CRM app for Windows 8, and some great customization of those mobile apps that currently isn't there. And again, Microsoft has confirmed that the new CRM mobile and tablet apps will be released free of charge. So let's look at some screens. This is going to be the standard screen. Now, there's a lot different about this release. First and foremost is you don't see the navigation pane on the left-hand side. That's pretty much gone. What it is they've moved it across the top, where you see service, dashboards. That is the way that we're going to be moving from record to record, from section to section, and it's not going to, and they're going to minimize the number of records that actually pop up within your interface. When you select something, it just is going to move you to that next record within the same window. Here's a couple of the other things, and I apologize, these screens have come through from other Microsoft presentations, and a couple of them actually from a picture that was taken of a presentation screen. So I apologize. It's the best we can do because these have been released to the public. So we'll do what we can. On the left-hand side there, you see the sales, service, marketing, and settings areas across the top. And that happens when you click on the Microsoft Dynamics CRM logo. It'll drop down that menu for you. Same thing on the bottom on the right. When you select the sales area, it drops down into the different sales pieces and parts that you're going to be able to access. When you click on one of them, it opens up the form itself within, again, the same window. And you can move forward and back as you would expect in a web-enabled application. In this case, we're in a record, and we want to add an activity. And you can see just by clicking on the activities piece, it opens up the new activity information window just below that, so that you can enter all of your information in directly from there. You'll see that functionality as you go through. Again, flattening out of the windows and the screens give you the ability to truly look at, sorry, we already did that, truly look at the data that you need, as well as giving you a touch-enabled experience. So those were the screens that we've got for Orion. Again, that's coming out in Q3. You can expect that it's going to be a major functionality release. I'd like to open up, we've got a little bit of time left for questions and comments. If you would like to just use the interface below in terms of the actual webinar interface to ask any questions, I'll try to answer them. and get you some information as much as we can. Hang on, let me open this up a little broader. Okay, questions. Is NetBreeze used specifically to monitor feeds, posts around your company products, or can it be used to monitor others? You can set it up to monitor others as well, is my understanding. Thanks, Narinder. Great question. So it's not just your company. You actually are putting in keywords and phrases and such to try and get the information that you need around what's happening out in the marketplace. Great question. Thank you. Anybody else with any other questions? While we're waiting, let me just point out that you can contact us at the, obviously my email address is there, ken@xrmcube.com. Mark Abus is the Director of Business Development for us, and he's there to answer any questions, to help our customers and prospects as well, to get them moving forward and get them signed up with us. So please feel free to contact either one of us at any time. Obviously, our website is a great place to get some information, and we're going to continue to try and put a lot of the upcoming Orion stuff in our blogs. We've held off to this point, again, due to NDAs, but we're doing everything that we possibly can to get that information out to you. Greg, in terms of configuring Dynamics CRM Online to connect to SharePoint, the way to do that is under Settings and Document Management. I can send you some information, or we can chat offline, but I can give you some specific information about how to do that. It is fairly straightforward, and it can be SharePoint Online, or it can be SharePoint on-premise, depending upon what you need there. For the Orion online release, will it be automatic, or can we opt in? My understanding is that Orion will be, to a certain degree, opt-in, but that's going to be a fairly short time frame. They're going to want to move you off of the existing forms and get you into the new forms and the new process, and moving it forward. I don't know how long that time is going to be, but it is going to be a short opt-in time. Not like you're seeing today with Polaris, where you can still work with the classic forms as long as you can, but the Orion forms should be, how do I put this, more complete in Orion than they are actually in Polaris today. Is the session recorded? Yes, the session is being recorded. We'll have that posted up on our website probably in the next week or two, I would think. Anybody else? Can I any other questions that you may have? We're very excited about Orion. We're very excited about NetBreeze. We think that the bulk of our customer base is going to be able to see instant applicability to what they're doing, especially NetBreeze. We've had that request, monitoring the social feeds, what's going on out there in the marketplace is a huge problem for people, not just with their own companies, obviously, but what's going on in their industry, and trying to maintain that, trying to really get that information is a big challenge. But hopefully we'll be able to start seeing beta pieces of that released in the wild that we can be showing and working with some of our clients on. Great. It looks like that's what everybody is looking for. The questions are pretty much answered. If you've got any more questions, great, just let me know. And again, I would encourage you to keep going to our website. We have a blog that's up and running. We're adding more and more content to it all the time. It's truly there for tips and tricks, and there's some salesy content in there as well. but I really would encourage you to keep checking back, being able to see what's going on with Gemini as it's coming up, and Orion especially, which is really truly going to be that next big stage, I think, for CRM. With that, it's now 11 o'clock Pacific time. I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and please don't hesitate. Email myself, email Mark Avis, any of our team. info@xrmcubed.com is also one of our key information pieces, and we'll get you the information that you need. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and again, hope to see you again on our next meeting.